Welcome to another video by Flat Earth Trads. Please subscribe, like and share it. Not long ago, Father Pfeiffer declared war on Flat Earth with a video in which he slammed this truth. In this video, we will give some brief refutations. They are necessarily brief because the conference is very dense. Like all those who oppose the Flat Earth, we must always come back to the lack of curvature and the fact that we can see objects which should lie beyond the so-called horizon. We provide the link below to this video, to his video, and to the forum post on which this video is based. First, his quotes from the Church Fathers come from a Protestant website. Yes, you heard that right. Father Pfeiffer, instead of going to his books, goes to a Protestant website to get commentary about the Church Fathers. The website is called Christian Answers, and we provide the link on our website. It is word for word exactly the same. There is no backup whatsoever for the claims in these arguments. He also does not answer questions about curvature. How convenient. St. Thomas. Another important point is St. Thomas. It must be made clear that St. Thomas does not favour the round earth. Read the two quotes for yourselves. He simply cites Aristotle. He does not come down one way or another. If you try to drag in St. Thomas into the flat earth, you are not being intellectually honest. St. Jerome. He claims that the St. Jerome quote is spookily inaccessible, lost in time, a manuscript that we cannot know the context of. But we can find it. It is readily available. Here's St. Jerome in his commentary on Isaiah. God had established the great mass of the land and had gathered it together above the seas and rivers, so that the heaviest element, earth, hangs over the lighter weight waters by the will of God, who, like a king, sits above the circle of the earth. There are some who assert that this mass is like a point and globe. What then? Will the land be over? Now for some finer points. Most of what Father presents has been refuted. This video will give some brief responses. If you want more detail, then go to the relevant section on our forum, and if you can't find anything, please post a question. In the conference, we get a lot of psychoanalysis presented by Father Pfeiffer, with insinuations that we are Protestants and worship science. If there are a lot of non-Catholics outside the Flat Earth movement, it is because it is something self-evident, not because Flat Earth is non-Catholic. Everything that is true is Catholic. A total lie by Father is that there are no ancients in favour about the Flat Earth. This has not been a focus in this site, because it is more than important to address the Catholics in favour of it. But there is a well-referenced source on our website. They are not Catholic, but you'll find what you need, unlike Father's Protestant website which he uses. The Catholic Encyclopedia, under the article title of Firmament, cites the ancient Egyptians and Babylonians as believing in the dome. He says it is a new teaching, and claims that we say it is a new science. This is totally false. Please see our video on the Fathers of the Church. He attacks us because we don't offer fancy explanations, just like the round earthers do, for explaining certain phenomena. The fact is, all aircraft have only gone to a certain height. Everything that NASA does is a lie, and therefore we don't have at the moment explanations for everything. It's normal. Globalist explanations are not worth anything anyway, because their whole science is based on a faulty premise. Flat Earthers want to bring us back to base so that true science can advance. Father Pfeiffer tries to claim that Flat Earthism reached its peak after Darwinism, implying that it is linked. This is absurd and patently false. He also tries to make out that Flat Earthism was a minority opinion. This is also completely historically false. In fact, it was a majority opinion right up to the 1500s. The Flat Earth arguments he refutes are mainly misrepresentations of our arguments. Orbis can be translated as a circle as well as a globe. If he clearly understood this, it would have saved us a lot of trouble, as almost all his pro-globe scripture quotes are based on this. They therefore fit perfectly with the Flat Earth. Poles can also apply to Flat Earth, as he himself admits later in the conference. Gravity is not our principal proof of the flat Earth. For flat earthers, there are scientific proofs such as lack of curvature, and there are curious phenomena about globe Earth that we point out, such as no commercial flights directly over Antarctica. He needs to make the distinction between these two, as anyone who opens their mouth to attack flat Earth has to do as well. In the flat Earth model, the Sun and the Moon can be spheres. This does not mean the Earth has to be a sphere. His talking about the Sun and the Moon is not a proof for flat Earth, and he knows this. You should always be able to see curvature on any sphere, even when you're looking down on it. To say the opposite is absurd and contrary to common sense. The reason is that a sphere is by definition a circle in 3 dimensions, no matter what way you look at it. His attempted philosophical arguments about the perfection of a sphere are very beautiful, but do not in any way prove the globe Earth. Further, they can also apply to the globe of the dome above and the dome below the circular flat Earth. His evidence for the round Earth is glossed over very quickly. Here are some rapid-fire responses. Ships over the horizon is not proof because they remain at the same level instead of descending. Modern photographic equipment and telescopes prove this. Seeing the polar star at different angles is due to perspective. Eclipses are not necessarily proof of a round Earth. Photos from NASA are highly demonstrably faked. Geodetic surveys do not show the Earth to be round, quite the contrary actually. Flat Earthers are not attached rigidly to the Gleason map. If there are inaccuracies, we are willing to admit them. It does not disprove the flat Earth. Maps are merely representations. The flight from New Zealand to South America in reality takes 29 hours. It's fake. We have a thread on our web forum which shows this. He claims we say all the ancients were idiots. We say the opposite. It is him who denigrates the ancients by misrepresenting them. He tells an untruth in saying the fathers were unanimous in teaching that the Earth is a globe. His comparing flat Earth to Zoroastrianism is completely ridiculous and without foundation. He attacks our horizon proofs as inaccurate and saying that when they are recalculated they all work out. This may be the case for some, but not for most. See the ones provided on this site. A round plate is round nonetheless. That is round only in one direction is totally irrelevant. We do not take science over philosophy, but science is more easily understood by most, which is why it is used. Because flat Earth is a truth, philosophy can only fit with it. Since philosophy is but the abstraction of what we see with our senses. Further, it is harder to lie when we see something before our eyes. There are, however, many sophists in philosophy. He dismisses NASA fake as irrelevant towards the end of the conference. They are indeed very relevant, because they use them as one of his round Earth proofs earlier in the conference. The refutation of the emergency landing for a pregnant woman in Anchorage, Alaska is ridiculous and inaccurate. He measures from Japan when he should be measuring from the point of where the incident started to occur. He makes one last-ditch attempt to close by saying in a beautiful tone that there is no deception in the saints, the fathers and sacred scripture. We agree. There isn't, which is why most of them agree with us. In conclusion, Father Pfeiffer has tried to shut down this issue by employing authorities in his arguments. He fails miserably in this, as we have shown. Most, if not all the fathers agree with us. Please see the relevant sections on our website. Most of the saints agree with us, and sacred scripture certainly does agree with us when you read it with an open mind. He tried to do this in order to put the lay people in their place and assert himself and to make it look like a resolved question. The tactic is clever here. It means that if you accept his arguments, then it will be almost useless to argue on the science because it will always have to defer in its interpretation to his perverted notion of tradition on the subject. Happily, though, the cat is out of the bag, and in the internet age in which we live, he won't get away with this. We hope that you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share.